Hi, jewells68 here for Talk to Me Tuesday number 62 or 63. I'm not really sure which. For January 7th, 2014. It's actually Thursday. I was thinking about just putting this off until next week, and then I saw Jennifer's video, and I really want that thread catcher because I could really use one of those. So I'm going to try to get as many, try to get one video in per week, if I can. I had a pretty good holiday. Things were quiet. We just stayed here at home. My sister lives here in town, but she was with her in-laws for the holidays. So, just me and my husband and my daughter, and we kicked back in our jammies and had a good time. So, that's all that happened here. Apparently there was a cat sleeping in the chair behind me, and I woke it up, and now she's picking on the chair. Stop that. Anyway, keeping this quick, a lot of things going on. I'm still in the progress of getting organized for the year about what I really want to accomplish this year. I have set a Project Linus blanket goal for the year, and that is I would like to turn in at least one blanket per month, minimum. That would be a minimum of 12. Last year my minimum goal was 6, and I made personally 7, I think, and I turned in more than that because of the awesome blankets that I got in the mail in memory of my mom, who passed away the end of September, and those were turned in December. So I feel like I got 7 done. I need to increase my goal. Now I'm better at doing the whole crocheting edge around fleece. I ought to be able to do that. At the December meeting, someone donated a ton of crocheted squares, and I brought a big sack full home. They reeked of smoke, so I threw them in the wash after I made my first blanket out of them. I made just a baby-sized one to experiment with a join that I had seen someone else using, and I thought looked pretty cool. It's called the granny join, and it basically involves no sewing. You just you use the same like 3 double crochets or whatever going through the holes as if you were working on another granny square, but you're joining the squares as you go. It's kind of cool. Anyway, I have one of those done. It's just like, you know, newborn sized. And here's that sack right here, and this is actually missing the blanket I did plus enough. I think I pulled 24 or 30 squares out of here and grabbed a ball of yarn to start crocheting them together at the meeting this Saturday, and I haven't gotten started on that yet, but that's in another room. So there's actually more of these floating around my house, but these are the ones that are left after the current one I'm working on now. What else? So anyway, with all those squares already on hand, that's going to really help me boost my numbers this year, I think, because I should be able to crank out several more blankets just from those squares, depending on what size I make them. So I have one that I just need to weave a few ends in on before Saturday so that I can turn it in. And because I already washed it to see if that kind of loosened the joint up a little bit, which it did, I don't need to wash it again, so that's cool. I just need to sew the label on. And I have my glorious scrap eater done, but I still need to weave in the 8 million ends that are on that. There were rows where I couldn't get all the way across with the yarn, so I had to tie on another yarn of a similar color or another shade of the same color to finish the row. And so there's ends that need to be woven in the middle of the blanket, along the edges. They're all over the place. This was truly a scrap eater, so I may not get all the ends woven in by Saturday, so I want to at least get that baby granny done. What else? Oh, and then I have started a list for January. I have a list made. It's on my desk at work because that's where I made the list, but I'm going to be bringing it home for what I want to accomplish just in the month of January, project-wise. And I bumped all of my UFOs out of January and we'll worry about them at some other time. But I may get them together into you know, organized fashion before the end of the month, but I'm not even going to attempt to work on any of my UFOs this month. Everything got bumped out. A longtime coworker and friend, probably my favorite person that I work with, was stricken with brain cancer over the holidays. So I decided that instead of I was going to just take like his favorite team and crank out a fleece blanket with a crochet edging for him to take to his radiation and chemo. He's already had surgery and had the majority, whatever they could remove of the tumor, removed. But there's still some in there, so he's got to have, obviously, radiation and chemo. He is the single dad and sole caregiver of his little girl who's in 1st or 2nd grade. And so I wanted to give him something that was from everyone, that everyone participated in at work. So what I came up with was an autograph or a signature quilt, a get well quilt, if you will. And Jennifer, our lovely Open Jen, supplied me with the instructions for one that they do at Linus Connection of Central Texas. So I have the instructions for that. I'm in the process of pulling together everything I need for the squares, and I hope to have those ready to go and ready to write on by Monday when I come to work, and I'll give everybody, you know, at least a few days, if not the whole week, to get those signed. With the number of people we have at work, they can put maybe 4 to 6 messages per block, and then once that's done, I'll heat set all of those and get that top pieced. So my goal is to have that done and to him, or at least on its way to him, by the end of the month. So that's kind of taken precedence over everything else. I've kind of thrown everything else to the wayside. In addition, I wanted to do something for him and his daughter, because she needs comfort too. So I spoke with the director of our local Project Linus chapter, and she's going to get a blanket from Project Linus because, you know, I would definitely consider, they're for children in crisis, and I would definitely consider having your sole caregiver fighting for his life a crisis. So they generously said, absolutely, we will pick a really lovely one out for her, and you can take it home this Saturday. And so I'll be able to give them each their own comfort quilt and or blanket. I mean, it may not be a quilt for her. When together I can give them each a blanket. He's probably going to have to leave the state for treatment, so if he has to leave before the end of the month, then we will just ship it when it's done. But everyone at work is on board. Everybody's excited about it. I'm motivated to get it done, and I've already had people, if we decide to tie the quilt, then I've already had several people volunteer to help me tie the ties, so that's great. And someone's already volunteered to buy the backing fabric. So it's really great because it's pulling all of us together, and we're all rooting for him. So we love you, Greg. I know you're not going to see this, but we do. The other thing I've been working on is, of course, Jennifer's paper piecing vintage. I ordered fabric at the end of the year. It came in on the 31st because I wasn't going to buy any fabric this year, remember, at least for 6 months. Going to go embargo myself for buying fabric. I've given myself permission to buy some fabric for Greg's quilt, and I'm totally okay with that. You know, I'll just get what I need, and no worries there. I really don't care. But about whether I buy fabric for that or not. But I wanted to make sure I got this stuff ordered. I fell in love with this Moda Vintage. Okay, that was really weird, but my camera just shut itself off while I was filming. All I was going to say is I'm trying to keep my crafty goals simple this year. I'm going to take it month by month and make a list of what I want to accomplish that month, depending on what's going on in my life that month. So that's going to be it for me. I'll probably show you next week exactly what my progress is on everything I'm doing this month, and I might give you a peek at my to-do list. But I decided to, on my to-do list, put every step of Greg's quilt there so that I can cross things off as I finish them and feel like I'm accomplishing something. So it looks like a huge list, but it's all really one quilt. And then, yeah, I guess that's it. Man, for someone who had really nothing to talk about, I just babbled on forever. I will see you guys next week for sure, and I will talk to you later. Bye!